Hello, everybody. We're here today to go through a guided drawing activity. We are going to draw a banana and just get us used to using the krita tools, the different brushes. We're going to add 3 different colors. We're going to do a little bit of sketching. So let's get started. From the krita toolbar here, we are going to, krita interface, we are going to start with a new image. I'm going to leave my settings here, the image size as it is. Feel free to change it. It's neither here nor there. I'm just going to leave it at this and I'm going to click create. So here is my lovely white canvas. Now to start this drawing, I have got a reference image, which I'm going to import into the canvas. So that I have something to trace. Now the way I do that is I'm going to go to layer up the top here and I'm going to go to import layer. Okay. And I have saved mine out on my desktop and I've called it a banana. So let's click on that and we'll open this lovely banana. Now I'm going to go over here and select this move tool because Krita will inevitably put the image in the top left-hand corner. I'm going to just grab it using that move tool and bring it into the center of my document. Quite happy with that. It's looking quite good. So here is my banana. And if we have a look here, we can see that I have a background layer and a paint layer. Now my background, as you can see, is locked. Let me just move this. Whoa. Sorry, I'll just get rid of that. My background layer is locked. My paint layer is what I'm going to start drawing on. And my banana layer is on top here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this paint layer above my banana layer. And the reason I'm doing that is this is a layer stack and the order does matter. I want to draw over the top of this banana. I want it in the back so that I can trace over it. I'll just do that now. And you can see now that I have my banana layer there and my paint layer there. So to start drawing, I am going to go over here and grab a brush. Here's a lovely brush. I'll have a look at that. Now I'm going to go over here to my Docker's menu and I'm going to click on brush and oh, it looks like I've actually got eraser selected, which is not what I want. I'm going to go with a basic brush. I think that's nice. Keep it nice and simple. What I have found when I'm drawing is I personally, and you might not have a problem with this like I do, but I find it very hard to trace horizontally. I find it easier to actually turn my canvas around. So if I press Shift and Space, I can actually rotate my canvas, and there are some numeric shortcuts. I just find the Shift and Space easy. So I've now got a more vertical, and this seems to help me draw steady. I can't, well, I need more practice, but I am having some trouble drawing steady. So I'm going to activate here in the tool, and I've already got it activated by the looks of it. Over here in the tool options, I've got my brush selected. I'm in tool options and I'm going to just select this stabilizer. I'm going to turn delay off and I'm just going to use, I don't know, 880. Let's just try that. 80 and we'll see how that goes. This is going to help stabilize my brush tool. Okay, I think I'm good to start painting. I will just double check. I'm going to choose a nice black color. My opacity is 100. I am definitely drawing on my paint layer. I'm checking that. I've got my brush. The eraser is off. Let's get started. Okay, I have finished tracing that out. It is not perfect by any means, but it is just fine. Oh, actually, I did forget. What I did need to do is just draw in this line here. Oops, there's a little messy bit there, which I might just erase. Very good. Good enough. All right. So I want to rotate my banana back. I can do that with the shift and space and move it back. But I could also go down here where you will see I can just simply select 0 and it's perfectly horizontal again. So it's a little bit dodgy, but it is good enough for us. If we go to the layers and I actually turn off my paint layer on my sketch, we can see the sketch underneath. Turn it back on. I'm now actually going to turn off my reference image, the banana, and let's have a look at my actual drawing. Yes, it is a bit dodgy, but it's good enough for the purposes of this tutorial. So I'm going to leave that off for the moment, and I might even lock it so that I don't accidentally manipulate anything on that banana layer. What we'd like to do now is we are going to colour this in, but before I do, I am going to rename this paint layer and I'm going to call it line art. All right, there it is there. And I'm actually going to duplicate this layer just in case something happens and I need to come back to it or I mess it all up and I want to come back rather than have to draw the banana again, I'm going to use my duplicate. So, oops. Right click there and duplicate layer. And now I have a copy of the line art, which I might pick up and move down to the bottom here. And I can turn that off. Oops, turn that off and lock that as well, just as a little backup. So make sure that you select line art again, because this is the active layer that we're going to be working on. And let's get busy with coloring this, this layer. Now I'm going to go to the advanced color selector and I'm going to choose a nice yellow, a nice banana yellow, and I might start with the a bit too green. I might start with the nice highlight. Oh, that looks like a nice, bright, happy banana color. So I've got my yellow selected. Now we can check that it has actually picked up that color by looking over here. And that top little box there is indicating the foreground color. Now, because this is an enclosed shape, I can simply use my little paint bucket tool to drop that color into this shape and it'll fill up this shape in its entirety because it is an enclosed shape. The paint bucket tool is going to drop in the color that is selected here in the foreground color. So let's go ahead and do that now. Click. And you can see that working very nicely. This is my highlight here. What I'm going to do now is choose a darker banana color for our shaded area. So we've made it a bit darker. Oh, it might actually be a little bit green. Let's not do that. Let's keep it dark enough. It's a little bit green. Let's try that. Let's see how it goes now. We've changed here our foreground color. I've got my paint bucket tool and let's drop it in. Oh, I think we're going to need to choose slightly darker. It's too similar. Let's see how this looks. So it's darkened. Oh, that looks much better. So we have a two-tone banana. I'm going to go for a nice brown here for this bit that gets ripped off. top of the banana. All right, let's have a go. Double check that color's been selected. And here is our banana. It's looking pretty good as far as I'm concerned. Pretty easy, pretty quick, pretty nice. What else can I show you? I am going to, oh yes, if I turn back on my reference image, we will see that there was some shading underneath this banana here, a little cast shadow. We've learned all about cast shadows in our drawing. So let's have a go at putting in some cast shadow digitally. What I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on the plus button because I'm going to add a new paint layer. And I'm going to name this layer cast shadow. Oops, spell it correct. Is that right? Cast. Oh, no, but it's good enough for now. That'll do. Cast shadow. So this is another layer. Now, at the moment, this layer is sitting above the line art and above the reference image. So if I was to select, oh, let's just stick with this brown for the minute. If I was to paint, whoops, oh dear, what's happened there? What's actually happened is I've still got my paint bucket tool selected and it filled the entire screen with the color. I don't want that. I want a brush. And just any old brush will do, but if I start to shade, you can see it's actually going over the banana, which is really not what we want. We want that cast shadow to sit underneath. So let's get rid of that. Let's move our layer down underneath our line art. There it is there. So now when I draw, it's going behind. So that's quite lovely. It's still, I've selected the wrong brush here. I've got a quite a hard brush, so it's not really what I want. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And I'm going to go to my brush tool, sorry, my brush docker, and select a lovely airbrush. I'm going to just soften that a little bit, the opacity down a little bit. I could select multiply, I suppose, and I'm just going to, why is that not working? Let me see. Oh, I've got a teeny little brush. Let's make that brush a little bit bigger. Brush. And we can pop in our lovely drop shadow. Okay, now the lovely thing about the using the Wacom and using a brush such as an airbrush, which has soft edges, is the harder we push, the darker it gets. So just right underneath that banana, I'm going to make it nice and dark. Let's turn off this reference image and see how that looks. Not bad, not great. Let's use a nice, I've actually got a lovely blending brush, blending blur. Let's have a go with that. Oh, that's much nicer, much smoother, lovely. And there we have our banana. I hope you enjoy that. Have a go yourself.